The staff at a luxury store laughed and mocked a black delivery man, assuming he didn't belong there. What they didn't realize was that he was the real owner of the business. What happens next will leave you stunned and deliver a powerful lesson about respect and assumptions. Watch until the end to see how this incredible story unfolds. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. The streets of Manhattan bustled with life as Jordan Walker stepped out of a plain white delivery van in front of Urban Luxe, one of the flagship stores of his luxury furniture brand. The storefront, with its gleaming glass windows and perfectly curated displays of modern decor, reflected the success of the company he had built from scratch. Dressed in simple jeans, a gray hoodie, and a baseball cap, Jordan carried a large cardboard box marked samples into the store. He had chosen this disguise to conduct an unannounced visit, aiming to assess how his employees treated delivery workers and customers alike. Inside the store, Mark Taylor and Rachel Morris, two sales associates, stood behind the counter chatting. Mark, tall and lean with a perpetual smirk, glanced up as Jordan entered. His eyes immediately flicked to the box Jordan carried, and his expression turned to one of condescension. "Looks like someone made a wrong turn," Mark muttered loud enough for Rachel to hear. Rachel, a sharp-featured woman with an air of superiority, chuckled. "Probably thinks he's delivering to the back door." Jordan approached the counter, setting the box down gently. "Good morning," he said politely. "I've got a delivery for the manager." Mark raised an eyebrow, glancing at Rachel, who barely stifled a laugh. "The manager? Oh, sure," Mark said, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "Because we definitely take delivery guys at the front of the store." Rachel smirked. "Yeah, we usually don't have time for this sort of thing. You sure you're in the right place?" Jordan remained calm, his face betraying none of his irritation. "I'm certain. The samples are for this location. Can you notify the manager?" Mark leaned on the counter. "You know, you might want to wipe your shoes before you track dirt all over the place. This isn't one of those budget stores you're probably used to," Rachel added with a smirk. "And while you're at it, don't forget to take that box to the service entrance. We don't clutter our floor space here." Jordan inhaled deeply, forcing himself to maintain composure. Years of dealing with bias had taught him the importance of patience. "I'll wait for the manager here," he said evenly. Rachel rolled her eyes and muttered, "Suit yourself." Mark and Rachel walked away, still snickering. From across the store, Linda Carter, the assistant manager, noticed Jordan standing alone. Linda, who had met Jordan at a corporate event months ago, recognized him instantly. Her eyes widened in shock as she hurried over. "Mr. Walker," Linda whispered urgently. "What are you doing here?" Jordan smiled slightly. "I'm observing." "But..." Linda glanced nervously at the counter where Mark and Rachel were still chatting. "Do they know who you are?" "Not yet," Jordan replied, his voice calm but firm. "Let's see how they handle this." Moments later, Mark returned, looking smug. "The manager's busy," he said dismissively. "You can leave the box with me." "I'd prefer to hand it to the manager directly," Jordan insisted. Mark's smirk widened. "Listen, buddy, you're lucky we're even letting you stand here. Why don't you take your little box and..." Before he could finish, Linda stepped forward. "Mark, Rachel, a word, please," she said sharply. Mark looked startled. "What's the deal, Linda?" Linda crossed her arms. "Do you have any idea who you're talking to?" Mark glanced at Jordan and snorted. "A delivery guy." "Why, this," Linda said firmly, "is Jordan Walker, the founder and owner of Urban Luxe." Mark's face drained of color. Rachel, who had been scrolling through her phone, froze mid-swipe. "Wait, what?" she stammered. Jordan removed his cap, revealing his face fully. "Surprised?" he asked, his tone measured. Mark's smirk evaporated. "Mr. Walker, I didn't realize." "I thought." "You thought what?" Jordan interrupted, his voice calm but icy. "That I didn't belong here. That I was beneath your respect." Rachel stuttered. "Why? Didn't mean anything by it? It was just a misunderstanding." Jordan fixed his gaze on them. "A misunderstanding? You mocked me, made assumptions about me, and dismissed me because of how I look. Is that how you treat all delivery workers? Or just the ones who don't meet your standards?" By now, other employees and customers had gathered, sensing the tension. Linda stepped back, allowing Jordan to take control of the situation. "Everyone here should know," Jordan said, raising his voice slightly, "that Urban Luxe was built on the principles of respect, inclusion and hard work. I started as a delivery driver myself. I know what it's like to be looked down on, and I will not tolerate this kind of behavior in my stores." Mark and Rachel stood frozen, their faces pale. Effective immediately, Jordan continued. "You're both dismissed. Linda, please ensure their access cards are deactivated." Linda nodded. "Right away, Mr. Walker." As security escorted Mark and Rachel out, Jordan turned to the remaining staff. "Let this be a reminder," he said, his tone firm but inspiring. "Treat everyone with dignity, no matter their role or appearance. The way we interact with people reflects who we are, not just as employees, but as human beings." The employees nodded solemnly, while a few customers clapped quietly. Later that day, Jordan sat with Linda in the store's back office. "Thank you for stepping in earlier," he said. Linda smiled. "I just did what was right. I'm sorry you had to deal with that here." Jordan nodded. "It's not the first time, and it won't be the last. But it's a reminder of why I started this company, to create a space where everyone feels valued." Following the incident, Jordan implemented mandatory training on diversity and inclusion across all Urban Luxe locations. He also launched a scholarship program for delivery workers, aspiring to advance their careers, ensuring that his company stood as a beacon of respect and opportunity. As Jordan walked out of the Manhattan store, he looked back at the sleek glass facade. His journey from delivery driver to owner had come full circle, but his mission was far from over. With each step forward, he remained committed to breaking barriers and building a legacy rooted in equality. Have you ever witnessed or experienced discrimination? Share your story in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring tales of justice and resilience.